take this kiss upon the brow, and in parting from you now, thus much let me avow, you are not wrong who deem that my days have been a dream. Yet if hope has flown away, in a night or in a day, in a vision or in none, is it therefore the less gone? All that we see or seem is but a dream within a dream. I stand amid the roar of a surf-tormented shore, and I hold within my hand grains of golden sand. How few, yet how they creep through my fingers to the deep, while I weep, while I weep. O God, can I not grasp them with a tighter clasp? O God, can I not save one from the pitiless wave? Is all that we see or seem but a dream within a dream? You are listening to Carolina Haints. Welcome, dear listeners, to the Carolina Haints podcast, brought to you by Wreak Havoc Productions and A Darker World. I'm your host, Dan Sellers. I'd like to invite you to join us for Season 4. We're continuing our themes with a mix of ghost stories, folklore legends, unexplained mysteries, dark history, and true crime. Episodes will feature stories between the mountain, Piedmont, and coastal regions of North Carolina, a few South Carolina stories, and a couple of tales from neighboring states. This season has everything from pirate ghosts to Indian legends, from monstrous creatures to mysterious cryptids. We'll kick off the season with an episode about the Devil's Tramping Ground, and we'll end the season with another poem from Edgar Allan Poe. If you've kept up with us throughout the break, then you'll likely know we typically have a slew of projects we're working on at once. Between this show, the Wreak Havoc Film Buffs podcast, multiple short and feature film projects, and of course the annual Wreak Havoc Horror Film Festival. This year's Film Fest will be held on October 21st and 22nd at Marketplace Cinemas in Winston-Salem. This year, we're going to the drive-in. Tickets will be on sale for $15 per carload for one night and $25 for 2 nights. Just as in the past 5 years, we plan to bring you an exciting array of entertaining horror from locally made films to international movies. You can find out more by visiting our official Facebook page at facebook.com/Wreak Havoc Horror Film Festival, or by visiting our website at wreakhavocHorrorFilmFest.com. I'd also like to take a moment to talk to you about Carolina Haints. Over the summer, we released a video entitled Monsters. It was a slightly more visual companion to the show that offered a sneak peek into an upcoming episode from Season 4. You can find Monsters and so much more at our new and improved website, carolinahaints.com. We've also expanded the ways in which you can listen to this show. If you listen straight from your computer, then you can always pull up carolinahaints.libsyn.com, that's Libsyn, to stream each episode directly. Every episode is also available on YouTube from the Wreak Havoc Productions channel. If you listen from an iOS device, then as always, you can listen through iTunes and the podcast app on your iPhone or iPad. Unfortunately, Google Play Music is going away, which means if you're an Android user or use another device, it'll no longer be an option. However, we've overcompensated a bit because starting now, each episode of the Carolina Haints podcast is available on Stitcher, Spotify, and iHeartRadio. You can download any one of these apps and enjoy the show for free. Just subscribe or follow and listen as new episodes are published every other Friday. While we're talking about the podcast, I'd like to ask a favor. Over the past 3 seasons, this show's listenership has grown exponentially, and I'm very grateful to you listeners. And it's something that I'd like to keep going. So here's what I'd like to ask. leave us a review. It's simple to do, and every additional review helps us become more visible through search algorithms. And I'd like to ask that you share the show with your friends. I tell friends this all the time. This show is a perfect podcast to cherry pick. It's not required that you listen in order from beginning to end. As a matter of fact, I suggest new listeners to listen to newer episodes first and work your way backwards. However you choose to listen, just know that I appreciate you. The last thing I'd like to talk to you about is the upcoming Carolina Haints book. You may remember last season we ran a successful fundraising campaign to do some research for the book. Well, I'm proud to announce that Jeffrey Cochran and I have completed work on the book and have signed a contract with the publishing company. The plan is to have it on bookshelves at your local store by summer 2021. This is a project we're super excited for and have worked very hard to complete. We'll talk more about the book as more information comes available. In case you didn't know, the Carolina Haints podcast is a collaborative effort between myself and Jeffrey Cochran. Jeff tirelessly researches and writes each episode of the podcast. He's a wonderful writer and brings much of his dark sensibilities and humor to his writing. Jeff runs his own production company called A Darker World Productions, and you can find all of his projects that he's up to at adarkerworld.com. If you like the theme song for this show, written and performed by composer Judson Hurd, then you're in luck, because there's a lot more where that came from. Just visit judsonhurd.com for more examples of his brilliant work. I'd like to thank Jeffrey and Judson for their invaluable contributions to this show. I couldn't do it without them. You can find everything that we're up to at Recapper Productions at recapperproductions.com. Follow us on Facebook and Instagram, and I'm on Twitter at Hank vs. the Undead. You can email me your thoughts or questions about the show at recapperproductions@gmail.com. We'll be back on Friday, September 18th, 2020, with a premiere of Season 4. Tune in then to hear more about the things that go bump in the night.